Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met Friday with representatives of the U.S. defense companies and energy sector ahead of his meeting with the U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington. According to the Ukrainian Presidential Office, in a meeting Friday, Zelenskyy thanked the defense company Raytheon, which manufactures, among other products, Patriot systems, for support and emphasized that they have helped save many Ukrainian lives. According to Associated Press, the two parties discussed Raytheon's production capacity, as well as the prospects for Ukrainian-American joint production. In a meeting with representatives of the Lockheed Martin defense company, Zelenskyy outlined Ukraine's specific needs for air defense systems and compatible missiles, as well as F-16 aircraft, the presidential office said. The Ukrainian leader also held talks Friday with the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Energy Chris Wright, as well as with representatives of the U.S. energy companies. Zelenskyy told Wright that he had a very good conversation with President Trump and discussed Russian attacks on Ukraine's energy system. He said to me that the team will help Ukraine. We are thankful for this, Zelenskyy added. Trump is set to host Zelenskyy for talks at the White House on Friday, with the U.S. leader signaling he's not ready to agree to sell Kiev a long-range Tomahawk missile system that the Ukrainians say they desperately need. The weapons would allow Ukrainian forces to strike deep into Russian territory and target key military sites, energy facilities, and critical infrastructure. Zelenskyy has argued such strikes would help compel Putin to take Trump's calls for direct negotiations to end the war more seriously. Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a lengthy phone call to discuss the conflict on Thursday. Putin warned Trump during the call that supplying Kiev with the Tomahawks won't change the situation on the battlefield, but would cause substantial damage to the relationship between our countries, according to Yuri Ushakov, Putin's foreign policy advisor. Trump announced following Thursday's call with Putin that he would soon meet with the Russian leader in Budapest, Hungary, to discuss ways to end the war. The two also agreed that their senior aides, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, would meet next week at an unspecified location.
Yes. I'm doing well, and yourself?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Kind of weather in different systems. Drones, missiles, how these systems work.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with us.
Before I will meet with the President.
It is an honor and a privilege for our corporation. And so, if I could, sir,
System, which is all the combat air.
Good system.
Let's see what's read.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much. We had very good conversation with President Trump on the phone, and we spoke about this so big number of attacks on our energy system, and he said to me that that team will help Ukraine. We are thankful for these contacts, and also we spoke about the companies who can bilaterally also help with some technically with some things, with some instruments which are important for our system. Yes, how you can help us, support us. So, of course, we renovate our system each day after each attack. Yes.
President, Chief Executive, Thank you. Marek Polak from Kyiv Energy Systems in Ukraine.
We already counted partnership on infrastructure, gas storages, and our companies, and also our ports, which are ready for LNG terminals. And then in Europe we have 15 nuclear energy blocks.
On the essential needs based on the information we provided, and then calibrate some of the companies and what is in your hands to help us to survive through the winter. Thank you.
Russian troops are suffering massive losses at the front, and although they are constantly receiving reinforcements, they are increasingly of poor quality. This was stated on Ukrainian radio by Artem Prybalnov, a communications officer with the 155th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. He noted that Pokrovsk has become a complete meat grinder for Russians. New units are arriving, but a Pokrovsk assault trooper on the Russian side lives on the line of contact for about a week at most. That's how long it takes him to walk from Selidovo, make camp somewhere on the southern outskirts of Shevchenkov, somehow regroup, and move on. This journey takes about a week, and within that week, the assault trooper will be destroyed, the soldier explained. He added that the quality of the enemy's personnel is not very high, and with each reinforcement, it continues to decline. Currently, Russian occupiers are using homeless people, alcoholics, drug addicts, tuberculosis sufferers, and the like in assault groups. These people aren't very motivated, and they also have certain physical deficiencies. So, carrying a load of approximately 60 kilograms, they mostly drop it along the route. This happens very often because these people are unable to perform any physical exercise, he said. In such circumstances, the number of Russian soldiers captured is also high. He also noted that attack drones currently account for 70 to 80% of kills. Therefore, small infantry groups are primarily used at the front. There's no point in creating large concentrations of personnel, defensive units, or large observation posts, because the cab simply flies in. And then what? It's important to disperse the personnel. In our zone of responsibility, we're defending Pokrovsk, which means buildings and heights. Our personnel are holding the line and staying where they need to be, the military officer emphasized. Major Volodymyr Nazarenko, deputy commander of Ukraine's 4th Battalion Freedom Force of the 4th Brigade Rubies, said that in northern Pokrovsk sector, Russian forces use conveyor-style assaults. Small infantry groups try to break through Ukrainian defenses. Our brigade is carrying out missions in the Pokrovsk sector in its northern part. It's one of the hottest areas of the entire Eastern Front. The situation remains unchanged as the enemy continues to use both equipment and small infantry groups conducting conveyor-style assaults. They keep trying to advance and attack again and again, Nazarenko emphasized. According to the deputy commander, most of these Russian attempts end unsuccessfully. The groups are detected and struck. Most of these one-time groups are destroyed while still approaching the forward edge of the defensive line, Nazarenko added.